Hello everyone, hope you're having a good first week of 2023. We'll wait just a moment here for some friends to file in. I'm Charting Man Dan of TheChartGuys. Appreciate all the likes and shares and subscribes. Thumbs ups, high fives. Just stopped out a little bit of my LABD runner, shorting the biotech sector. We're going to look at the broader market, the dollar, Bitcoin, and a handful of altcoins as we head into the weekend. Got a full trading week next week. The following week, we have another Monday off. Markets will be closed, certainly not the crypto markets. But bulls in a pretty good mood today overall, and I'll show you why. One last check, and then we'll get the show on the road. All right, let's do it. So S&P 500, as I've been talking about for a while now, and if you've been, don't read my stuff. If you've been following the broader market videos that I put out on a daily basis, you know that we're scouting a 2-week inverse head and shoulders. If the bulls are going to prove to us that they are regaining momentum in their favor and that fear is subsiding significantly, it would be a 2-week inverse head and shoulders, which means we've got to set this higher low now, and we've got to head up and break 408.61 on SPY. And so right now, we have a solid bullish day in the markets overall. We've got one resistance level being broken, the second resistance level being tested, but we are a fraction of a percent away right now from the 2-week higher low being set. So the bulls have 2 steps here. They've got to set the 2-week higher low, and then they've got to break resistance. And that resistance right now is about 5.5% away. So it's still a very tall order to fill if the bulls were going to break this double top, 5.6%. But again, really solid day, up 2%, and pretty much the most bullish day we've seen in the last week plus, maybe even the last couple weeks. So the NASDAQ is slightly weaker. If we look at the NASDAQ, we can see it's a downtrend, but we double bottomed at our recent low, and now we're heading up towards this resistance. So even if SPY breaks that resistance that we just looked at in the low 387s, the NASDAQ, QQQ, needs to break 270.15, probably not going to happen today, but have to do that next week if we're going to see confidence and follow through. The NASDAQ has to follow. Apple and Amazon, they're having nice big green days, so that's good. When we're talking stock market, these major names have a lot of impact, and so we're watching for a bit of a shift. I've been talking about how important the healthcare sector has been. Look at the bulls playing defense in the healthcare sector today, just preventing the weekly downtrend confirming, and now trying to head back towards resistance. So overall, very solid day for the bulls. We need more next week, but this is giving the bulls hope of a reversal potentially taking place here. So the dollar bounced the last couple of days, completely reversing here. The bears will have to confirm a 4-hour downtrend to have confidence that they're taking control back, but this is a daily bear flag that is attempting, or really it's a weekly bear flag that's attempting to confirm very quickly. So again, we know that we can make a whole checklist of things that we need to see for bulls to have confidence and to be looking for follow through. The first is SPY breaking that resistance level that we're testing right now. The second is the NASDAQ breaking that resistance level I just mentioned. The third is the dollar breaking the low of current consolidation, 103.39. And the fourth would be, of course, Bitcoin breaking $17,060 to get to the highest level in multiple weeks. Bitcoin divided by the NASDAQ, we've been seeing relative strength comparative to the NASDAQ for the last 6 weeks. I'm keeping an eye on this pattern just in case if we start to see some weakness where Bitcoin is not following the broader stock market, it's possible we continue to tighten up within this pattern, but just something I'm keeping an eye on. Nothing that is extremely important to me, but haven't looked at the Bitcoin divided by NASDAQ chart in a while. And again, this shows us Who's stronger, Bitcoin or the NASDAQ? And for the last 6 weeks, the answer has been Bitcoin is stronger because Bitcoin's traded sideways and the NASDAQ has been dropping down. So no major clues, but just a bigger picture pattern I'm keeping an eye on. And obviously Bitcoin bulls want this to be a falling wedge that eventually breaks bull to show longer term relative strength comparative to the NASDAQ. Because again, what the best case for the bulls is confidence in the broader stock market, funds moving into the broader stock market, and then laggard moves of funds going into crypto saying, okay, risk on, let's see some bull upside, and we have a bit more confidence putting our money to work from the sidelines for all those that have been cash is king for the last bunch of months. Just in terms of crypto stocks, coin hit a new all-time low today. No follow through. So new all-time low with no follow through. We have to confirm an hourly uptrend. Looks like we are just doing that now. But bigger picture, a ton of work to do. Really, coin's got to get over 38.50 to have any confidence in a longer term reversal taking place. And what is triggering weakness in these crypto stocks is Silvergate. If you haven't been following Silvergate essentially, that can't be right. Where am I going here? There we go. So Silvergate essentially, just very briefly summarizing, becoming the crypto bank and in a lot of trouble due to FTX exposure and things like that. And so obviously going from 108 over the summer to now $11. I mean, we've seen the Bitcoin size, the size of the drop more significant than Bitcoin in half the time, essentially. So huge drop, tons of fear. Are they going bankrupt? What's the capitulation going to look like? What is the risk of other things? Is there risk to grayscale? All this. So there is still some fear out there. And when we saw this big gap down, when it became more clear that Silvergate was in trouble. Again, look at this gap down from Wednesday to Thursday. We ended up dropping 50% in one day. And the other crypto stocks were impacted by that. Coin dropped and MARA dropped. But here's MARA trying to set up the first, this is a little bull flag attempt, trying to set up the first daily trend change to the bulls in a long time, many months. So volume is there this week. Bulls are hoping that this is a weekly volume climax here, trying to shift this momentum. So paying attention to these names, but MARA bulls are showing a bit of confidence to try and confirm this uptrend. So obviously add that to the bull list. Seeing crypto stocks starting to show strength would be another positive for the cryptocurrency space as a whole. Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So we had an inside bar bear break. We had a convincing rejection from 17,000 yet again. But here's the daily trend change attempt. This is the bulls attempting the daily higher low, and if we break $17,060, it'll be a triple top breaking bullish, it'll be a daily uptrend confirmed, it'll be a weekly higher low set, and we'll then be looking at 18.4 thousand as the most important level to see if the Bitcoin bulls can confirm the first weekly uptrend in a very long time, 8-9 months or something like that. So definitely heading into the weekend with a bullish tone here. And that's going to be favorable to the cryptocurrency bulls. Again, Bitcoin's got to break 17,000 over the weekend to try and get this move going. It's possible if we reject from 16.9 here and then consolidate a little bit, we can still remain in a tightening range. But clearly the goal for the bulls over the weekend, break 17,000. I would say anything less than that is going to be disappointing. I would say that if we do not break $17,060 this weekend, that's a failure for the bulls. They should be able, with this kind of shift and confidence growing, they should be able to break that resistance level. Ethereum, daily higher low, quickly being set, 4 hour. We'll eventually need to change the trend to the bulls, but here we are already testing the bounce high of 1272. And if that confirms, then it's a daily bull flag confirming, and we continue to march towards the weekly resistance of 1352. So we're a lot closer to confirming a weekly uptrend on Ethereum than we are to Bitcoin, and ETH BTC shows us that. Again, we've been watching this equilibrium. The best case for the bulls would be this double top at 76, breaking bullish. We're testing that level shortly. And there's two scenarios. We're either going to break it bullish, which is a great sign for Ethereum comparative to Bitcoin, or we reject from this level yet again, which would have us continue to tighten up for potentially another couple of weeks. Good thing I got stopped out of the biotech sector. Those bulls just turn things around real quick. Look at that volume. Litecoin, potential daily bull flag. So when we last checked in, this is a channel I was watching this morning that broke bull. When we last checked in, we were looking at the potential of the 4-hour head and shoulders shaping up. And it did, and it confirmed. 4-hour downtrend confirming. But when there was a lack of follow through, when you break that support straight into a bounce, you start scouting. A trend change with a lack of follow through means zoom out and scout a flag. So we had this 4-hour head and shoulders confirm. We had a lack of follow through. So we zoom out and scout the potential daily bull flag. We bounced off daily EMA 12, hourly oversold conditions. So again, we know in our strongest uptrends, 5-minute oversold marks hourly higher lows. 15-minute oversold marks 4-hour higher lows. Hourly oversold marks daily higher lows. If what I just said does not make sense to you, that's something you want to write down and study and burn into your brain, because it is the backbone of identifying strong trends. And so Litecoin, hourly oversold, we got right down to 30. At the low of this candle, it was probably at 30.5, and we then bounced notably. So if this ends up being the daily higher low, again, we will need the 4-hour uptrend to confirm. But if this ends up being the daily higher low, then it's a daily bull flag. And we'll be looking up at the double top at $78 as a key resistance level. If I'm looking bullish for a trade right now, for a swing trade, and I don't have a position, what I would be looking for is, we'll just use Litecoin as an example, but this applies to all coins. So let's say I'm sitting around saying, all right, daily consolidation, bulls aren't proving anything, I don't want a position. And now I'm saying, okay, stock bulls, SPY just broke. While I'm talking here, we've now got our 2-week higher low officially set. Am I jumping the gun? No, we broke it by 6 pennies. It's officially set by 6 pennies. So, okay, we're getting enough signs. Now I do want a bull position. So what do I do from here? I wait for 4-hour consolidation. Whenever that happens, I have to wait to have better risk and reward in my favor. So if we get 4-hour consolidation, I then make an entry. Maybe I scale in 1, 2 positions. I then set my stop under the low of consolidation, because the assumption of the entry is this is either a daily bull flag or I am wrong. And if this is going to be a daily bull flag, the low of consolidation needs to be set. So the thesis of my bull trade would be invalidated if 72.45 were to break. So that's the stop loss that I would base the trade off of. If the bulls then confirm the 4-hour uptrend, the probability of the daily bull flag would increase significantly. So if I know I'm scouting 4-hour consolidation, I'm looking for the 15-minute uptrend to be lost. The 15-minute uptrend being lost would be the first indication of 4-hour consolidation being underway. And then I scout the 15-minute downtrend, watching for it to try and change back to the bulls to indicate a 4-hour higher low is shaping up. So again, we can apply this to a lot of different coins. Ethereum, same deal, 4-hour. All right, if I want an entry, I'm waiting for a 4-hour higher low. Whenever that consolidation shapes up, I'm scaling in an entry or two. I'm using the low as a stop, and we're hoping that Bitcoin breaks that 17,000 level and follows through, following the broader market strength here over the weekend, and that these coins follow through with their daily bull flags as well. I'd say in this moment today, it's the most bullish I've felt about everything in the last probably, this day is when it was clear that the bears were taking back over. So this is the most bullish development for me in the last 3 weeks. So it's notable. Litecoin BTC, was weaker than the US dollar pairing, but same thing. We need to see the 4-hour trend change back to the bulls. We need the daily higher low to be set off EMA 12, and we've got to break the double top to try and see continuation of this move. Sol, daily potential bull flag. Again, inside bar bear break with 0 follow through. To lose 1283 support and to get 1% of follow through on this very volatile coin straight into a bounce tells you to scout that daily bull flag. So we are in a 4-hour downtrend at the moment. Well, I actually like the 12-hour a bit better for clarity. We're in a 12-hour downtrend at the moment, but again, when you confirm the downtrend and it lasts for one candle, and then the bounce starts right after that, that's what I call a lack of follow-through. So Sol is absolutely trying for a daily bull flag here. And Sol BTC, trying the same. If we confirm the daily bull flags, at that point, the probability that the bottom is in on Sol will increase very significantly. And in my opinion, we would need, if we're going to break $8, we would need some kind of very notable fundamental reason to see from here that size of a drop. Because again, if you confirm the daily trend change from here, you'll very quickly be up 80% plus. And again, what would it require to drop 40 to 50% from up there? It would require a significant new wave of fear that would likely need to be news related. So if I'm looking real long term on Sol, if I'm looking for a fear cycle bottom, then $8 is now the must hold level. Sol, BTC, same thing. Mana. So our weaker coins here, these inverse head and shoulders. Bulls are attempting for a very quick higher low to try and confirm the first daily uptrend in over a month. And we're seeing the same thing on the BTC pairing. It has to confirm as well. Again, our lead bears, Mana, Sand, ADA, all of them. Well, ADA is keeping that relative strength. So I'm going to now separate them. I had them as a threesome all together, but now it's Sand and Mana over here, and it's ADA over here because ADA has notably more relative strength. And it showed us that a couple days ago. What was the difference between the three? From the last live stream, ADA broke the daily lower high, where Mana and Sand did not. Mana and Sand technically in this moment are still daily downtrends. They're trying to shape up the trend change, but ADA broke the daily downtrend. And ADA BTC is showing us that relative strength. So again, on these weaker names, we are just zooming out and scouting a weekly lower high. I mean, for ADA on the weekly can bounce, and I'd really call anything under 44 a weekly lower high. And just like Bitcoin, we know if any individual coin, if it can't get over weekly EMA 12, it's not changing the longer term structure of the downtrend. So it's one step at a time. Okay, bulls are proving something to us on the daily chart if we confirm these uptrends, but we have to keep ourselves in check, not get too excited, because it's going to be a while before we confirm a weekly uptrend. So we have these names like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a bunch of other coins that have possible weekly uptrends in play. But the weaker coins that drop to clear fear lows over the last couple of weeks, they have more work to do. They've got to bounce, they've got to top out, and then form the higher low and higher high. So we're at different points of these weekly charts in terms of attempting these reversals on all these different names. Checking in on the list real quick. So for the day, lead bull, Litecoin. Haven't looked at Sushi in a while. So Sushi trying for this little double top bull break at 102. Again, then we zoom out and we scout anything under 149 as a weekly lower high. Still a lot of work to do. But there is a scenario, and I talked about this a long time ago, but there's a potential scenario shaping up where Ethereum and some of the other stronger alts may be forming monthly higher lows right now. And they are trying to confirm monthly higher lows are shaping up with the weekly uptrend. Confirm the weekly uptrend, monthly higher low is set. And then we got to watch the monthly. Can we confirm a monthly uptrend? So again, the shift is in the air. The bulls are starting to check off some boxes. This is the most bullish we've seen in the last 3+ weeks. Can we follow through? Can we keep checking off on the bull side of things? All right, I'm reading the chat room now on the YouTube side of things. ApeCoin. So Ape is also trying for the weekly trend change. So the weekly higher low is set at 325, and the bulls must break 459 to confirm the first weekly uptrend in the history, really, of this coin, at least on Binance. And I'm pretty sure that's everywhere. Broader market bulls turning on the jets a little bit. SPY following through over resistance. It's an extremely bullish day. Again, if Bitcoin does not break 17,000 over the weekend, it's, come on, Bitcoin, what's going on here? Because the S&P 500 is now at the highest level in just about 3 weeks. Can the bulls string together a few days in a row to follow through from our 2-week higher low now being set? The big red flag would be fail the recent high and then break the recent low. So we're watching this key support now of 374.77 as a must-hold level. So again, just keeping an eye, if you don't want to watch the stock market too much because you're more interested in crypto, that's now the must-hold support level. And if that level breaks, that should trigger an uh-oh for you as a bull. Where do you find the NASDAQ divergence? By Bitcoin, you type in Bitcoin BTC USD divided by NAS 100 USD. So we're seeing we're weaker today because the broader market bulls are putting on a show, but we have been stronger over the last 6 weeks. Question is, do we continue to weaken and lose the stair-step pattern of a higher low every week from the last 5 weeks? What were the most influential resources for me on my path to learning trading? YouTube and Google. And forums, interacting with other people who had more experience than me. So, okay, this person who has been doing this longer than me and is more right than everybody else in this forum is talking about RSI. All right, I'm going to Google RSI. I'm going to spend 3 hours learning everything that I can about RSI. And then from that point forward, I'm going to observe it on a daily basis and watch to see how I can use it as a tool. So it was essentially getting pointed in different directions from individuals in forums and then going down my own rabbit holes through self-directed study. 48 likes. It's a slow Friday out there. Where are the bulls at? Come on, this is supposed to be the most exciting day we've seen in weeks. Bulls are sleeping. MARA is continuing up at the high of the day. Aggressive bulls looking for a potential swing position in MARA, looking for the break of 433 to try and confirm the daily uptrend. Matic. So Matic's trying the same thing, the inverse head and shoulders attempt. Have to see a bull break of 814 and 82 to confirm the daily trend change, and then we zoom out. We look at the weekly, and we'll be watching weekly resistance 95 cents if the bulls can confirm the daily uptrend. Matic is similar to Ethereum in the sense that, well, the monthly is not clear to me, but that's unfortunate. Yeah, we're just going to stick to the daily and the weekly. So we're trying to confirm the daily uptrend. It's similar to Ethereum in the sense that we didn't come close to breaking the fear low. So again, I said this a while ago, but it's hard to imagine that Matic's cycle low is not set. What would have to happen? I mean, we would have to see a 60% drop for new fear lows. And again, with where we stand in this part of the cycle and with all the negative headlines we've seen, in my opinion, the only way we're heading back to that low, Bitcoin's 15.5 low, that's nearby. That's still in play. But a name that has to drop 60% to get back to a new low, I mean, that requires a significant amount of headline fear to be able to trigger retail to act again. Because, again, getting through so many hurdles of fear over the last 6 to 12 months, it's just really hard to imagine. I mean, Bitcoin would have to drop down to 12,000 if Matic were going to drop back to 31 cents, in my opinion. So it's possible, certain headlines are possible, but there are some coins out there that I do feel our cycle low is in, and Matic is on that list. Let's look at the 4-month chart of Matic out of curiosity. So I'm going to be looking for, I like 4-month time frames on a lot of names right now, but I am going to be looking for 4-month tightening ranges on a ton of names in 2023. Let's just look at the S&P 500 again. 4-month EMA 12 has been holding for decades. Are we about to hold it again? It looks like it's potentially shaping up. Do we then fail the all-time high and tighten up most of 2023? That's entirely possible. But you look at, other sectors, the biotech sector, which is more high risk, high reward. There's so much space for the 4-hour lower high for us to form long-term tightening ranges. And these tightening ranges might play out for years, 12, 16 months. Let's say we break this sideways range bullish in the biotech sector. I know it's not really pertinent to crypto, but again, just looking at different setups, we could bounce for 8 months. We could set a lower high. We can consolidate for 8 months and set a higher low. And next thing you know, we're, a year and a quarter down the road and we're within these long drawn out tightening ranges. And so we know that when we see, if you show me this and you say this is an hourly chart, I'm scouting an hourly bounce, I'm scouting an hourly lower high, and I'm scouting an equilibrium if the bounce retracement is significant enough. Maybe it ends up being a bear flag, which is possible, but if we get bounce follow through, tightening ranges for a very long time are certainly on the table. You look at ARKK, which we know is high risk, high reward as well. Again, we're looking for a bottom to try and form and for a bounce, but tons of space for the lower high. Let's look at Bitcoin, 4-month time frame. If we shape things up for a bounce, lots of proving needing to be done. Pretty much confirming a weekly uptrend would be the first step towards a 4-month bounce being underway. But again, what if we bounce for 8 months? We get back to 36,000. We pull back for another candle for another 4 months. We bounce off 21,000. Next thing you know, you're a year down the road and you've got a tightening range on a longer term time frame. Let's go back to the last bear market, 4-month time frame. We pull back, we bottom, we set the 4-month lower high, we set a 4-month double bottom essentially, but it is a higher low. And then that bull break from that 4-month equilibrium was the go signal. You're going to hear me talking about 4-month time frames in 2023, especially if we get some bounce follow through to start 2023. And we will be scouting those lower highs as well. If things shift, if momentum shifts, we're not going to be rah back to all-time highs. At least I'm not going to be. That's too bold. That's too pie in the sky for me with this current market environment. We can bounce 200% on Bitcoin from here and be at 51,000. So again, I will be expecting a 4-month lower high. It's just a question of what's the bounce retracement before it is set. And this is all looking further down the road. And it's important to have that rough outline because, again, I've been doing this with SPY on the 2-week time frame for a couple months at this point, or at least, 4 or 6 weeks. And it's just taking a long time to develop because it's a long-term time frame, but it is starting to shape up. So we have to have these, we just don't want to be focused on the daily chart and not know where we're looking 6 months down the road. We want to have a vague idea, a rough idea. And we obviously get new information on a daily basis, but we want that rough idea of what we're watching for. Replace the horses in the background with a bull. We got a bull. Where's my shoulder? There's a bull right here. We got bull representation. When a lower low is confirmed, does the following candle have to engulf, or is it just confirmed by confirming trend change? For me, it's just the level, the price level breaking. We'll go back to Litecoin for this example. But again, it's the number of candles matters for me on follow through. If this was going to be follow through, this candle broke support. You need multiple candles. If you break support and you go straight into a bounce, that's the first indication of no follow through. If the break lasts one candle, then it's not following through. Adam. I think Adam was standing out as a stronger name a while ago. So stronger in the sense that a monthly higher low is attempting to form. So same as Ethereum in that regard. So low, high of the bounce, monthly higher low is attempting to shape up. We've got to break 1058, this weekly resistance. Well, 1064. If we break 1064, then we'll say our monthly higher low is set, and we'll be looking back up at the high of the initial bounce to see, can the bulls confirm a monthly uptrend? But again, the fact that we need a 48% drop to head back to the fear low from here, unless there is some kind of catalyst. Because with where we stand in the broader stock market, we know the Fed has been talking about what they're going to do with rates, right? That's mostly priced in. We need some kind of new bombshell to trigger a new rush of fear to fresh lower lows, in my opinion. And again, that can happen, but you need the narrative. We know that charts move without a narrative, but when you're talking big picture, longer term time frames, you got to get retail on board with the narrative for significant moves to take place. So I would need to see, in my opinion, if we're going to see these, like a name like Adam head to a lower low under 555, then something in the world is happening that is significant and new, that is bearish, because the Fed isn't new. And I guess, if inflation ramps back up, just starts getting out of control again, then that could be, that wouldn't be new. I guess going back up would be new. That could be a scenario. Escalating tensions between whatever countries could be a new scenario, but it's hard to believe for me that Adam can hit a new fresh fear low from where we stand right now. Because again, Bitcoin can drop down and break 15.5 and bounce off 14, and still Adam won't be close to 555. It'll maybe be down at $8 or $7.20. It's fine if you're still bearish. I mean, Bitcoin bulls haven't proven a thing, right? We're setting the table for the shift. And again, breaking 17 is just step one. SPY just did step one. The S&P 500 just did step one, breaking resistance. Bitcoin hasn't done it yet. The S&P 500 has a big step two still to go. And it's breaking this 2-week resistance, because as soon as we break that level, we are then closer to all-time highs than we are to the fear low. And you will see sentiment shift significantly if that happens. You will see a big sigh of relief. You'll see people talking about the end of the bear market, but we still have to break that level. We've set the higher low. Now we got to break the level. Bitcoin has two things to do. You've got to set the higher low by breaking 17, and then you've got to break 18.4. So there is definitely still a lot of proving for the bulls to be done. So you can justify being bearish and say, I'm not bullish Bitcoin until we confirm the first weekly uptrend in 9 months. I have no problem with that statement. If you want to be more patient and more, take a step back, absolutely. Thanks for the support, Patrick. DCG, Grayscale, FTX, not over. I'm okay with that. Definitely. That's a possible scenario on the table. That being said, it's not new, meaning people know that that's something we need to be aware of. It's not like it would come out of left field. I mean, if Grayscale has to liquidate everything, obviously that comes out of left field. But I wanted to enter this cost hourly bull flag. I think I missed it. Yep. Check out this cost chart. Dividend long-term Costco. This monthly equilibrium is a beauty. Bulls just played really great defense at support. We've been tightening up for a year. No, not that long. We've been tightening up for 8 months in this equilibrium. This is a beauty. Watching to see how that's going to break. Thanks for the like going postal. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up and head into the weekend. So again, what do we need to see next week? First thing, obviously we know Bitcoin's got to break 17. We need to see QQQ, the NASDAQ, break 270.15 and join in to this shift in momentum. It's the financial sector that's been leading the way on this move. The financial sector trying to head back to the highest level it's seen in 8 months. XLV holding on just barely to support. And QQQ, it's got to get its act together because it's the weakest of the 3 major sectors that we watch for the broader stock market. And again, you know, the scenario that would get bulls excited and crush their hopes and dreams again would be QQQ bouncing on the weekly, setting a lower high, and then dropping to new fear lows. So again, I just want to reiterate, I'm definitely coming off as bullish in this video because again, it's the most bullish stuff we've been seeing in 3 weeks, but it's a but. That's it. I'm bullish, but I need this, this, and this. So keep proving it, bulls. MARA, if I want to go long MARA, the low of today is a must-hold level. If we break this level without breaking 433 to confirm the daily uptrend, it's a red flag. So we have levels now that we can dictate. I like to call them benchmark levels. We can say this is the level that has to hold, and if it breaks, my thesis is out the door. And I'm wrong. And that means if I'm in a position, I need to stop out of that position because I'm wrong. Binance, what about Binance? Daily in the sideways range broke bull. And again, another one that started daily consolidation with 0 follow through. So here we are testing the bounce high again, 261. If 261 breaks, we're looking at 265, pretty much the high of every day. 265, 268, 278. Bigger picture, we will have to top out on this bounce eventually on the weekly, anything under 318, and we will have to confirm a weekly uptrend. Because again, this is another one of the names where Bitcoin and Ethereum would confirm a weekly uptrend long before Binance because Binance is coming off of a fresh low while Bitcoin and Ethereum are not coming off of a fresh low. Is SQ a good crypto play now? I don't think so. If you're looking, you know, for crypto exposure, there are better plays out there. I mean, SQ is trying to put in a long-term bottom. This is the scales of supply significantly outweighing demand all the way down, and we're leveling out, and we're trying to flatten, and the scales are now level. Supply and demand is even, and if the bulls get over 75, 77, the scales tilt. Shorts start to cover, bulls start to long, and demand starts to outweigh supply. So again, just visualize the drop, the leveling out. Can the bulls tilt those scales? All right, prove it, Bitcoin. Prove it. Get over $17,060. Force some bears from the last 3 weeks to cover. And NASDAQ. Watch the NASDAQ next week. Is the NASDAQ going to tell us that this move, we shouldn't believe it? Or are they going to tell us, okay, we'll believe it, we'll play catch up, and we'll break our resistance and join in on Team Bull? Appreciate you all watching. Have a great weekend. Make sure and do good things out there. Gonna try and put out, let's see, this weekend I'm gonna put out a New Year's resolution kind of video. And then the first intro to futures trading video sometime next week.